One city, one news station. 1010 wins.
The news never stops. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. 88 degrees at 2:40. I'm Lori Metten, and here's what's happening. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for our entire area through 9 p.m. A heat advisory through tomorrow night. We'll get a live update from AccuWeather's Brian Thompson in just a moment. The weather should be much nicer on Sunday for the annual Dominican Day Parade. This year's theme, identity and culture. A New Jersey woman sues the Yankees for $10 million, saying she suffered a traumatic brain injury after being hit in the head with a bat during a game. Little leaguers from Port Washington and Bayonne are looking to punch their ticket to Williamsport this weekend.
Really working hard, and here we are, putting it all together on that magic carpet ride, hopefully to Williamsport.
The Metro Region Tournament getting underway tomorrow. Florals in spring, not from Meryl Streep, who's picking out items from Miranda Priestley's closet for a charity auction at Christie's. 1010 Wins AccuWeather says we could see these heavy thunderstorms with flooding downpours into the evening, otherwise warm and sticky later tonight, low 75. We're going to get that update from Brian Thompson in just a moment. But first, Wins News Time, 2:49. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Greg Rice.
Well, here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Getting out of Manhattan, there's bad, and then there's a whole lot worse. Northbound West Side Highway in the 90s, you got a lane out, and you got a mess all the way back to the 60s, but deal with this because north of the 90s, the west side, a pretty clean shot up to the George. Meanwhile, I just heard from Jamie on the 1010 Wins traffic tip line, and she tells me it's been an hour, and she is still stuck in some atrocious traffic on the northbound Harlem River Drive en route to the George. She got past a crash in the left lane on the northbound Harlem River Drive in the 160s, and then it's still not moving. So the Harlem River Drive, that's much worse than the west side of Manhattan. Northbound Deegan, best out of the Bronx, city-bound George, 30 to 45 minutes into town. There is still some midday construction on both levels. Lincoln out of town, 30 to 40 from 11th. You want 9th. Inbounds an extra 20 minutes. Holland's getting up to 45 minutes back to Jersey. On the Jersey side, Newark Bay, lesser of two evils. Clearview, Throgsneck combination, the best of it across the Upper East River. Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge with a crash. City-bound all jammed up. Stay with the Manhattan Bridge either way instead. Greg Rice, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Heat, humidity, thunderstorms. Yes, it's August, and they're all on the menu today. AccuWeather's Brian Thompson is here. He has the very latest on just what we can expect this afternoon. Brian.
Yeah, it's been another very humid afternoon, Lori. The humidity's been very high, much like we saw yesterday. Temperatures have been in the upper 80s to near 90, but AccuWeather real field temperatures have been pushing 100 degrees due to just how humid it is. We are also going to be watching for the potential for showers and some stronger thunderstorms into this evening. Most of the tri-state except Suffolk County is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock this evening. There are some strong storms out toward the Poconos. Now a severe thunderstorm warning into northern parts of Sussex County in New Jersey. Storms that are heading to the northeast toward Orange County. So we'll continue to watch for these storms this afternoon. Flash flooding and strong gusty winds will be the primary threats. Lori?
Mayor Mamdani touched on the extreme weather we've been experiencing this summer.
While we know that our city has long dealt with summer hazards, with the acceleration of the climate crisis, we are seeing the intensification of these kinds of events. And within the past month alone, we've seen our city deal with hazardous air quality, extreme heat, flooding. We also know that hurricane season is on the horizon.
We're making his remarks at a roundtable on extreme weather this morning. Stay with 1010 Wins for the very latest on the expected storms later on today. The weather should be much nicer on a Sunday when we can let the celebration begin. The 44th annual Dominican Day Parade marches and dances through Midtown on Sunday when thousands take to 6th Avenue in a showcase of culture, history, and Dominican heritage. And Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch had a security update for the parade today.
The NYPD's deployment and enforcement operations will not end when the parade does. Officers will be out in full force Sunday night, both topside and in transit, to ensure that the celebrations that follow are peaceful.
This year's theme is identity and culture. The parade kicks off at 11 a.m. at 37th Street and makes its way up 6th Avenue to 55th Street. The broadband that brings internet service to NYCHA complexes coming under scrutiny this afternoon. Tenant and advocacy groups allege that the service is spying on them. They're suing.
It started as a promise of free high-speed internet and ended, NYCHA residents say, with a whole lot of cameras in private spaces they didn't ask for. Brooklyn Defenders attorney Talia Kamran is representing those people in a lawsuit.
What I would say is a digital form of stop and frisk where the police don't have to be trolling NYCHA property to stop you and ask you if you're trespassing in your very own apartment. Instead, they can just pull up on their phones and watch.
She calls it unconstitutional.
The government stops at our door. If you want to come past my door, you need a warrant.
Some city council members have also complained that this was done in secret. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
We have reached out to the city law department for response. The Yankees are being called out and sued for $10 million by a New Jersey woman who was hit by a bat that went flying during a game in June.
There's a woman who got hit. She's on her feet now. She was crouched in a chair, but she stood up. They got her on the side of the head.
It's Michael Kay on the Yes Network. It happened June 2nd in the game against Cleveland when Guardian slugger Jose Ramirez hit a ball, but the bat flew out of his hands mid-swing. Went into the stands right behind home plate. The 47-year-old woman says she suffered a traumatic brain injury, concussion, and neck injury, and that she continues to suffer from symptoms, including headaches and light sensitivity. She says she has not been able to return to work since the incident. The lawsuit says the protective netting in front of that section behind home plate is significantly lower than other parts of the stadium. We have reached out to the Yankees for comment. The Little League World Series just around the corner, and the New Jersey and New York State champs from Bayonne and Port Washington are looking to make the cut.
The Metro region down to 4 teams. One will punch that ticket to Williamsport. But tomorrow in Bristol, it's the undefeated boys from Bayonne facing off against Connecticut. Jersey's assistant coach is Jaime Rincon. He says his boys are fired up.
You'd be surprised the trash talking that 11 and 12-year-olds, but I think it being on a national stage, they'll probably tone it down.
If New York goes against Jersey, I think there's going to be some trash talking going on there. But...
Oh, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be.
And speaking of the New York State champs, for the first time in their 63-year history, Port Washington Little Leaguers are in. They'll be facing Lincoln, Rhode Island tomorrow. Glenn Schuck, 1010 Wins, 92.3 FM.
You can ring in the new year every day in Times Square. A new tourist attraction has its grand opening tonight in the same building that houses the glittering New Year's Ball. It's called Times Travel at 1 Times Square, and the immersive journey begins with a glass elevator ride up 19 stories to an observation deck over the crossroads of the world. Tickets are $44. Well, that sure went fast. We're talking about summer. It's not over, but a turning point comes in a few days.
Watching the sunset at 8 p.m. is soon going to be a thing of the past. Your last opportunity to soak it all up this weekend and Monday.
I don't like that part. But when it gets darker, I feel like I move a little slower.
Manny says he gets so much more done when it stays light out longer.
I actually like the views. It's like a warm view almost.
And for Mike, he thinks this summer flew by.
Yeah, my friend. The water's nice and warm. Enjoy it.
Well, the 8 p.m. sunsets are going away after Monday. The sun will start setting just a little earlier each day following it until daylight savings time ends, which is on November 1st. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Coney Island.
Here's your chance to vote on a name for an octopus at the Long Island Aquarium. Choose carefully. The aquarium's Joe Waiolo tells us every octopus has a singular personality.
Each octopus does have a unique personality to them. So sometimes we do try to name them relative to how they act and react. We do spend a lot of time interacting with them, providing them with a lot of different enrichment challenges, things like that, a lot of tactile and touching.
You've got 3 choices. Octavius, as in the Spider-Man villain, Oswald from the Nickelodeon cartoon, voiced by Fred Savage, and Squish, because he looks squishy. Squish is currently in the lead. The winning name will be revealed tomorrow. Miranda Priestley's latest accessory is the auction gavel.
What you don't know is that color is not just blue. It's not turquoise. It's not lapis. It's actually cerulean.
That story's coming up next. But first, Winds News Time 2:51. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Greg Rice.
Here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The northbound Harlem River Drive particularly awful. Not only is the FDR bad from the 20s up to Gracie, but then Harlem River Drive, it's going to run you about an hour from the 130s up to the George West Side Highway. Yeah, there's a crash in the 90s, but once you're past that, smooth sailing all the way up to the bridge. Northbound Beasley, that's the best of it out of the Bronx right now. Citybound George, 30 to 40 on both levels. Lincoln's about 15 and 30 plus out from 11th, better from 9th. The outbound Holland is at least a 40-minute trek, on the Jersey side of the Newark Bay, better either way. Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge with a crash. Citybound, you're all clogged up. The Manhattan Bridge or even the Williamsburg, better rides in either direction. Clearview, Throgsneck combination, that continues to be the best of it. Across the Upper East River, the bridges to and from Staten Island, they're holding up, but the westbound Staten Island Expressway just awful off of the Verrazano out through Richmond Avenue. And in New Jersey, southbound 440 getting over to the Turnpike and over to 287 northbound. You've got a crash, got emergency construction. Either way, only the left lane open right as you get over to the Turnpike on 440 southbound. Greg Rice, 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM.
Now let's get you caught up on your AccuWeather forecast. Here is meteorologist Brian Thompson.
And Lori, it's been another very humid day across the area with the AccuWeather real field temperatures flirting with 100 degrees, even though temperatures really haven't gotten that much above 90 in most spots. Again, just really high humidity levels. We may get some very limited relief from that humidity as the weekend goes on, but still pretty steamy into this evening. We're going to have some showers around. Still pretty quiet across most of the area right now. There have been a few showers that have been popping up across parts of Suffolk County and a few stronger storms coming into far northwest New Jersey right now, northern parts of Sussex County. Those are heading over to Orange County. So we will have to watch for some of these showers and heavy thunderstorms into this evening, which could cause flash flooding and strong gusty winds. Keep in mind there is a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 this evening. Well, the low of 75 later tonight. It will be partly cloudy, still uncomfortably humid as the storms pull away. Might have a late day or evening thunderstorm tomorrow. Most of the time will be dry. Another very warm and humid day, high 88. Real feels again in the upper 90s to near 100. Partly cloudy, warm and sticky tomorrow night, low 74. Hot on Sunday, maybe not quite as humid by the afternoon. We'll have a lot of sun, a high near 90, and then more sun than clouds. Still very warm Monday with a slight chance of an afternoon thunderstorm, high 89. Right now, partly sunny. It's 88 degrees. The Midtown are going down to 75. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. Winds on 92.3 FM.
Nigel knows how to pick out that wardrobe.
Cindy, we need that. The Brunello Cucinelli pants, love those. And you definitely need an embroidered two-piece Totem set, but not the terracotta because you're so pale.
And now Miranda Priestley herself, or rather Meryl Streep, will be auctioning off wardrobe items from The Devil Wears Prada 2, with proceeds benefiting the Committee to Protect Journalists and the Council of Fashion Designers of America. Streep has conceived of the online sale for Christie's.com. The items will be up for bids between September 1st and the 15th, but you can see them in person during a free public exhibition at Christie's here in the city between September 8th and 13th. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch.
Among regulators needing to sign off on Paramount's $110 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery is the UK's Competition Authority, and it has now signed off. That's helping send Warner stock up 1% today, even as it reports weak quarterly results, with revenue down amid a weak movie slate and the loss of NBA broadcast rights. Seems rather heartless at first glance, even second glance. We find out today that the U.S. lost more jobs last month than it gained, and Wall Street is higher, based on the bet that the Fed is now less likely to raise interest rates soon. Dow up 65, NASDAQ up 223, S&P rising 27. I'm Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM.
WINS FM in HD1 New York. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Kyle McMorrow's at the editor's desk. I'm Lori Medden.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. New York.
Partly cloudy skies and 88 degrees at 3 o'clock. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. We'll revisit the Weather Center in a moment as we head into the weekend. Got humidity, heat, and the possibility of a severe thunderstorm. This might not be the best weekend for the picnic, folks. Hang on a minute. Also today, they hauled that kid into court today, the one accused of lighting a fire at a Legacy church in Bristol. This is the guy who was caught allegedly shoplifting at a store in Midtown when the cops put 2 and 2 together. Hey, we've been looking for you. Another confirmed case of rabies, this time in Iceland. Authorities are warning and reminding people again, don't touch, pick up, pet, or bring home these things. Rabies is no joke. Help is on the way to the dreaded Chambers Street subway station. Governor Hochul sounded like then Vice President Joe Biden in 2014. Remember when he said LaGuardia looked like a third world airport? Her Honor says it's time for us to do something about the J and the Z train. This place is the pits. And a bottle of Guinness, older than the Guinness Book of World Records itself, found at a shipwreck, and the owner is contemplating if he should drink it, and set a Guinness World Record for becoming the sickest man in the world after drinking the whole bottle of beer. Stay tuned for this. AccuWeather says tonight, cloudy, warm, and humid. We will drop down to a low of 75 degrees. The Winds News Time 3:01. Let's get to where you need to go. Here's Greg.
Yeah, thunderstorms aren't necessarily overhead, but they are enough in the vicinity to make messes. LaGuardia and Newark both in ground stops. LaGuardia and Kennedy, I should say, both are now in ground stops. Newark Airport, very heavy delays, but again, JFK and LaGuardia, both are in ground stops right now. If you're trying to fly out of town today, or you're picking up someone who's going home, check those airline apps ahead of time, because odds are that flight's not going to plan, nor is the ride at the George Washington Bridge. Here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, 40 to 60 now on the upper, 30 to 45 on the inbound lower level. West Side Highway, there is this stubborn crash on the northbound westbound in the 90s that has been there for a couple of hours at this point, and that still got you loaded up all the way back to the 60s. But after that, the west side is fine. Everything else is far worse. Northbound Deegan, best you'll get out of the Bronx. Lincoln's about 10 to 15 in, 30 out from 11th, better from 9th, 30 to 40 minutes home at the Holland. On the Jersey side, Newark Bay, better ride away. Still a Brooklyn-bound crash on the Brooklyn Bridge, still a better ride to be had Brooklyn-bound at the Manhattan Bridge or Williamsburg Bridge. Greg Rice, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
A severe thunderstorm watch until 9, and we've got a heat advisory in effect until 8, and next we'll be hearing about a blizzard warning until 7. You know what I mean? It's crazy hot. I know that. Let's head into the Weather Center now and get the official word from meteorologist Brian Thompson. Brian, a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, it's that humidity again today, Larry, creating all the problems. So we have temperatures that have been in the upper 80s to near 90. But when you factor in that really high humidity, AccuWeather real field temperatures have been running pretty close to 100 this afternoon. We are watching for the potential for some thunderstorms here as we head into the late afternoon and evening hours. Been a couple of showers popping up here and there, but nothing strong yet. There are some heavy storms in far northwest New Jersey, northern parts of Sussex County. Some of those are heading over into